I'm Cass. My name is Cass, and I'm going to be kicking our call off for the evening tonight. I'm going to start us off with our mission statement tonight. So we do ask that everybody mutes their line so we can just kick right off into our meeting. We want to really respect each and every one of your time tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and kick us off with our mission statement tonight. So welcome to our sisterhood. Our sisterhood is RAIN, and our mission is to help women elevate by owning our crown and identity, creativity, and power to build fulfilling lifestyles through your passions. You know, and we want to uplift you with our mind, body, and soul. Yes, I got it. So it's up here on the screens, but this is something that is really, really important to all of us. Again, our mission is to help women elevate by owning our crown and identity, creativity, and power to build fulfilling lifestyles through passions. We uplift through our mind, body, and soul. So again, ladies, my name is Cass, or Cassandra Cass. I've been a part of this amazing community for a year and a half now. I actually think it might be coming up on 2 years. But I've been a part of this journey for over 8 years. I've known Amanda, the girl on the bottom that I'm praising with, for about eight and a half years, maybe a little bit longer. And I actually joined her for something very similar at the time. I was somebody that was very lost. I was clubbing night after night. I drank a lot. I honestly was doing things that I really didn't even know. Like, I was raised in a household where I didn't even date or anything. And when I got out of college, I was doing the most. And this met me at that point. I was fresh out of college, and I was looking for something more. I wanted more than just going out and drinking and clubbing and all of that. So I actually met Amanda, and I joined a women's group that Amanda was running at that time. But at that time, we also locked arms and started our nutrition journey. And so within that, my nutrition journey, I actually lost 20 pounds in my first 2 months. I went from a size 13 all the way down to like a 5 or a 3, y'all. So you see that picture with the blue dress with the yellow flowers? I was probably about a good 114 pounds. I was tiny. They didn't tell me I got that small, but that's okay, because I was able to switch it up, put on healthy weight. I definitely got my booty and my thighs back, even got some upgrades in some areas, but I definitely have maintained a small waist, which I'm beyond grateful for. And that's just by fueling my body with the right things. Over the course of my 7-year journey on my nutrition plan, I've been able to kind of transform my body, but most importantly, transform my mind. I've been able to really lock arms with all of the women that are in the group in the upper right-hand corner and really just build on me. So one of the things that's been extremely important to me is just learning who I am and owning my voice and owning my identity. And this group has really allowed me to do that. I have my ups and downs, and that's exactly what a sisterhood is, right? I can look at every single lady in here and know that we've had some type of disagreement, but we've had them in love. And I think that there's something powerful about that, because women don't have that. Usually you don't get along with somebody and you're like, all right, she's hating on me, I'm not going to talk to her no more. No, in this group, you get to look at what you do and you get to grow through things. So I'm really, really grateful for what this community has brought, and it's allowed me to build a business inside of that. It's allowed me to pour into other women just by locking arms with women and doing what most of us want anyways, right? When I talk to most girls, they desire something more and a deeper connection. So with that being said, I just gave a little bit of my story, but our RAIN sisterhood, you know, a lot of women in here share from their heart. They share what's on their mind, and it might be really sensitive. You might actually look at people that are in the call right now, and they might be somebody that you know and you didn't even know they were going to be on this call. So I want to definitely go over our declaration and commitment statement. This is kind of like our pinky promise, like one of our queen leaders says, our pinky promise to ourselves and to other people within the group. So you're not going to unmute your phone, but when I get to the blank space, you're going to say your name to yourself, okay? So, as a woman of RAIN, I, Cassandra, pledge to strive for excellence in my pursuit to be a strong and loving woman. I will fight to be better in all aspects of life with help and support from the RAIN family. I will be responsible to the tasks that I commit to within RAIN and let my integrity show through my actions. I understand that change starts from within. I commit to proper nutrition and fitness for the health and wellness of my body. As I look in the mirror to humble myself, I will become a better support to others and always have their best interests at heart. I commit to the confidentiality of RAIN and understand that the information I learn from my involvement will stay within our group. I will walk in the name of love to the best of my ability. And that's everything, ladies. So literally our pledge statement is saying that you're safe here. So if you share at any point in our RAIN sisterhood, just know that you're protected and we're here to grow with you. I get the pleasure tonight to introduce our amazing speaker, and I spoke on her a little bit earlier, but this is somebody that found me in my darkness, or let's say God placed her in my life in my darkness. And I'm so grateful. The topic tonight is finding peace in the storms. And I definitely know that this lady has been through storms with me, and we've had storms together, and she's helped me get out of storms. She's somebody that I've watched go through storms, and I've watched her grow. And even just tonight, watching her powerfully show up on a Facebook group and speaking with her husband just shows you how much of a woman of her word she is, and just like the growth that she's doing. I'm beyond proud of her. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Miss Amanda Marshall.
Awesome. Thank you, Cass.
Okay.
Okay, cool. You know, a little bit of technical difficulties tonight, but we are living, we are growing, we are becoming. I am so, so grateful. Thank you first and foremost for all of you joining. Thank you, Cass, for that powerful introduction. And really, you know, it puts me in a space of just being humble, because sometimes when we take on different things to grow, to develop, to implement, for me, it just makes me realize how much it wasn't me. I really had to start choosing God's strength, start choosing to lean on my sisters more, start to really just be vulnerable in my weaknesses in order to be strong ultimately. And so just really humbled me as you were speaking, Cass, and just a beautiful journey we've been on in the past 10 years. I don't know how long it's been, but it's just been so beautiful, and I'm grateful for your transformation as well. So welcome all of you that are just joining. We're really a sisterhood that's coming together to help each other grow in whatever aspect that looks like, right? So one thing it was on my heart to really just address is, you know, sometimes it's hard to trust women, and we tend to go to what's the catch, what's the reason why these women are joining me here, or inviting me here rather. And so really just getting clear that there doesn't always have to be a motive, an exterior motive for us to grow. We are definitely women that want to accelerate in our own businesses, in our own life, in our own way. But at the end of the day, we have a genuine heart to help people. And so you hear about our results, and you hear about how we've been able to get these incredible, you know, business results and physical results, and how we're growing the sisterhood. But at the end of the day, those are just like resources that we give to you. And if it hits for you, and if it lands for you to join, excellent. If it doesn't, take the message and accelerate, because we want every single queen to rise, to become, to win. And we know that there's enough room at the top of the mountain for all of us. And so I just really wanted to share that, because I know that sometimes we can kind of question why a woman may have invited you to something. And sometimes we don't realize that that could be a genuine thing. And it was just on my heart to share for whoever out there that may be having doubt or, you know, just uncertainty. So my name is Amanda. I am so, so blessed by each of these women because of who I became because of them. So really a little introduction about me. I have been doing women's empowerment for over 10 years. I'm really trying to be the light that I so desperately needed. You know, I was in darkness. I've been in abusive relationships. I've had a lot of abandonment and rejection issues. I really like to have friends. And so I became a people pleaser at some point in my life. But then I fell so deeply in love with myself that I forgot how to be a good friend. And I became very selfish at one point in my life. So I've kind of had all these different journeys that I've went through. But I can say right now, today, I've been humbled so much through my life that I just feel like we get to create a safe space for every woman to grow authentically. For me, I've had pressure for having it together and being a leader and running women's empowerment that I almost was afraid to show that I didn't have it all together. And so I really want to share first and foremost, like, we're all just trying to figure it out. We're all trying to grow through life, but we have these powerful, powerful strengths that we get to come together and help each other with, and also weaknesses that we can lean on each other with. And that's really what the sisterhood's all about. It's about women coming together and everybody shining in their own way, in their own light, and really growing in that. And so I'm grateful for all my sisters you see here. For me, the self-love journey truly started with me loving myself, taking care of my body. And so you see my results. I was able to drop 23 pounds within 2.5 months, simply from cutting out fast food and eating just crap at home all the time, sometimes not eating at all. I had a lot of Red Bulls, a lot of Dr. Peppers, just changing my life. And I can tell you the physical results are cool, but the way that I feel and the energy that I have was the best, because I was literally taking naps in my car almost every single day at lunch during corporate America. Like, my life has changed completely because I simply decided to love myself. And when you say you're going to love yourself, you got to be aware of what you're putting in your body. You got to be aware of the activity that you're getting on physically, right? And so that has been a big shift for me. I've been able to now put on 27 pounds of healthy weight. Holla, let's get those curves cracking, all of that. I'm all about growth. And for me, that was just another challenge. How can I get better? And then you see my incredible husband here. He is absolutely my blessing. And honestly, it's the woman that I became that attracted him. And it makes me really excited because it's available for any woman that chooses to grow. A lot of us definitely may, want the man or want the thing or want whatever we feel the desires that we have in our heart. But a lot of us are unwilling to go through the work that's required to get there. A lot of us are unwilling to really hone in and master yourself. And it's not saying mastering yourself will reap a man. However, it's a moment of what is your lesson? What is the lesson that you need to learn through your storms? Why do your storms continue to come back and circle around? Like how are your storms helping you get to your blessings, or how are your storms impacting you from getting to your blessings? Because it's all perspective, right? And so we're really going to roll in that tonight. And I just pray that this blesses you wherever you're at and how we can really grow and ultimately find peace within our storms, right? And so it's important that we know that there can be change, right? So something that I've really learned just finding peace within my storm is, how will I rise? How will I rise through my storm? But it's first by perspective, because if you're not asking how you'll rise, then you just sort of go through it and you don't look for a lesson. You don't look for growth. You just sort of have this like blindness of what's happening. We complain, we aren't sure, all of these things. But I'm telling you right now, if you choose to see the storm that's in your life right now differently, and you choose to change your perspective on that thing, and simply asking, how will I rise, can be the reason why you see it differently. Like that can be how you're able to find the peace in the storm. Because I can tell you right now that storms come in life for a purpose. It's opportunity to grow, opportunity to pass the test one more time. And I think that there's a lie about the storms that we have in our lives that make us think that they're out to get us and that we're doomed and that we don't know how we'll ever overcome it. And so I really want to bring each of you present to your storm. What is the storm that you're currently facing? Think about it. Like really, what is the thing that you're feeling is the end? Well, right now we're dealing with this quarantine. And so sometimes just simply, we don't know if we're going to make it through the day, just not having an attitude and wanting to pop off on somebody, right? And so I get that there's a different perspective in what's happening in life right now. But whatever your storm is, I can promise you that it'll pass. Some of us are going through abusive relationships. Some of us are going through a lonely heart. Some of us are going through flesh eating desires, like I really want to have sex, but I'm trying not to. I feel lonely and I want to be validated. Some of us are trying really hard not to text the man that we know we shouldn't be texting, but we want to anyway, and it might be okay just to say what's up and nothing else. What's your storm? It'll pass. What's your previous storm? So think about something that happened like 10 years ago, like your testimony, like the hardest thing in your life that you had to overcome, something that you felt like was going to take you out, something that you felt like you could die from, or you wouldn't have made it, or whatever it might be. Like think about something deep like that, y'all. Seriously, get connected. Did it pass? Are you better? Because I know for sure that if I wasn't in the abusive relationship, I would have never stopped to try to understand myself more. I don't think that I would have ever felt I was so lost that I couldn't recognize who I was, that it actually caused me to want to know who I was. Like, have you ever been so lost inside of a relationship, inside of a man, inside of a job, inside of something that took your identity that you didn't even know who you were anymore? Like so broken. And that's where I found myself. And now today, in that moment, I'm going to keep it really real. Like, I was afraid. I would be in the room. I had a little, I had some heat. I still have heat. So if you guys know me, I have a gun. But at one time, I kept a gun under my pillow because I just didn't know. I just wasn't sure what was going to happen. And I can tell you that you can't find peace in the storm in that way. So there were moves that I had to make to shift. But I can tell you now that when I think back to that time, I was definitely just trying to get through the day. If I can just get through this moment, I'll be good. If I can make it through this night. But now I look back and I'm like, man, so much greatness has come because that happened to me. It's in our darkest places that we are able to find the greatest light. I would have rather gone through that terrible relationship that I thought I lost myself in than not have and not have been able to find myself at the level that I have. So I really want you to connect with your story because it's going to be different than mine. You're not going to have the same testimony. You're not going to have the same, oh, I don't even know what it's like to have a gun under the pillow or whatever. Like, that is, for me, that's my testimony. But for you, there's something. How were you hiding a gun under your pillow in a different way? How are you hiding yourself? How are you not showing up powerfully because of whatever it was that was keeping you from it? Because that's typically what storms do. They keep us from walking in our power if you choose to let them. So we have to do something different and take a faith walk. We have to be able to move our feet. We have to be able to shift the way that we used to do things so that we can find something different. Because isn't the definition of insanity doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result? Like, how are you going to hold for you differently in this storm so you have a different outcome? Because if you do it the way you did it last time it showed up, I promise you're going to have the same result, and you're going to probably have a sense of defeat, a sense of, this is just the cards I was dealt. But I want to really be clear that we have the option of creating the lives that we want. But it's taking those hard steps and those frustrating moments, or even the ones that we're uncertain of, because the familiar zone sometimes feels better than stepping outside of our comfort zone. You're not even comfortable in the familiar zone, but because you know what to expect, you're okay being there. So how can you see that a transition, because a lot of times storms will bring transitions. It'll bring a space where things might be chaotic, but you now have an opportunity to do something different. And so when you're in that space of, how is this storm going to serve me? You're able to find the transition and then powerfully step into the transition, so then it now served you. And because of that mindset, because of that perspective shift, you can find peace in the storm. Because if you just tell yourself the story that happened before, and you know that it's going to pass because it did before and you thought it wasn't, so you get to use your own story inside of it, now you have a different perspective in how you can look at this one. Because your words have so much power. The way that you're speaking over your situation, the way that you're showing up inside of it, the drama that you may be able to have, I can tell you a sure way that you will not find peace in your storm, ladies, is by talking about it negatively. Because what you will feed will grow. So how many of us want things to change and desire for things to change, and we want shift, but then we're out here talking ish about it? Like, what you feed will grow. Your mind has so much power over your life. What a man thinks, so is he, right? Law of attraction. What you put out, you get back. There's all kinds of philosophies for no matter what you believe in life, whether you follow the Bible, whether you follow the New Age, whether you just have good karma, all of it is the same thing. It's not, but it is. When it comes to the principles of our thoughts, when it comes to the principles of living life, you can't have a positive life with a negative mindset. So what are the thoughts that you have over your situation? Are you uplifting yourself, telling yourself that you can be great, or are you just inside of your pain and seeing it as something that's never going to change? At the end of the day, it's really about finding peace by intentionally seeking that peace, taking time to look at the storms that you have in life and just write about them. Maybe you put some meditation music on and you just allow yourself to receive something to give you a perspective shift. I was recently tested with my attitude, right? So I have an incredible husband, but he likes to show me myself. And he was reminding me of how bad my attitude can be sometimes. And I felt like he was asking me to completely change who I was, because I just roll my eyes and I just have a mouth sometimes. Like, I've already done all this transformation and growth work. Like, this is just, I've done enough, right? But I took a moment to really just put on some music, and I just started writing. And I was real with myself. I was like, I feel like you're trying to change me. And I feel like this, Lord. And I was just writing all this stuff, right? And all of a sudden, I had a revelation. Me choosing to continue to master myself and get rid of my bad attitude is only going to help me in the rest of my ways in life, right? And people probably that know me online are like, you don't have a bad attitude. You don't know me unless you're offline, right? But I'm saying this because when we choose to allow a storm that we might see to be something that helps us elevate, then you'll finally be able to like find peace in it, but also overcome it with intention. And so by me writing down what I felt, all of a sudden I realized that by me being more aware of my attitude, by me being aware of the storm that I had in life and just get better, and not to talk back or whatever it might be, it's just going to help me be better. Because how many places in life am I impacted by my negative attitude or by my moment where I don't think it's bad, but me rolling my eyes? Like, how many people may feel some kind of way about that? And so I know this is small, but I really want you to start connecting to the things in your life about mastering yourself and growing. And it also showed me that I needed to die more to myself in order to be more like Christ. And so that's my truth. That's what I'm striving for in my life. And so I'm like, man, if I can have more self-control over when I roll my eyes, just imagining every time you roll your eyes. Like, yo, we all have some kind of like attitude. Like, it's hard to realize how many times you might just hit them with that one time, right? But like, think about the self-control that comes inside of it, ladies. That allows you to grow, develop. That's what it's about. You master yourself. How will this one be different? It's up to you. How will you grow in this storm? It's up to you. It's you versus you at the end of the day, because you're the only one that knows what's happening behind closed doors. And in a way to look at something different is, right now we might feel like we can't go out of our houses, we can't go see our friends, we're stuck in the house. Well, how will this opportunity serve you? How being stuck in the house, how will it serve you? What gifts can you pull out? What things can you work on? Because I'm telling you right now, we're going to shift. And when the world goes back to what it was, you're going to look back and be like, damn, I wish I would have done what I could have did back there. But instead I complained. I sat here and talked about what I couldn't do, and I didn't look at what I could do. So it's just changing your mindset from being a fixed mindset to being a growth mindset. How can I take advantage of this opportunity right now? Maybe you want to start your own home-based business, and this could be the opportunity to do that, so you don't have to ever feel like the government has control over your finances. I don't know what it is for you, but I know for me, I'm going to look at how I can take this situation and make it better for me. How can I find peace in the storm? Is by finding opportunity in the storm, is by focusing on the right thing. It's by doing what you can do today, not worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, because there's enough trouble in today. But I promise you, if you decide to put one foot in front of the other now, if you decide to communicate with the person you're fighting with now, because it's not going to go away. These are the storms in life. If you just do the things that you need to do now, you're going to find yourself in a position that's so much better in the future, right? Because if we do what I need to do right now, tomorrow is going to be taken care of. If I do the small things, because every person who's been successful, they do the small things. It's the small steps. It's the things that we don't think matter because we're seeking instant gratification. But if you do them now, in 5 years, you're going to see how that thing sets you up for success, for a better way of life. But I'm telling you, every mountain has a new height. Every mountain has a new climb. You're not going to get to a mountain and not think that you're going to have to consistently climb. So just because you do the work now doesn't mean that it's going to get easier later. You'll just deal with things differently. And so I definitely just want to send love to y'all. I know I went in and I have so much more that I need to say, but I want to respect y'all's time. I do believe that we can continue to master our storms by simply choosing to be the better part of ourselves inside of them. Too many of us are seeking validation instant gratification. In validation, I mean, you want somebody to be sorry, feel sorry for you. You want to sit in your story too long. You want, somebody else to fix it for you. If they do it better, then it will be better. If money was better, then it would be better. Let's stop seeking external things and let's just focus internally on how we can grow, how we can shift, how we can get better. Because at the end of the day, you can cut off every person in the world, but you can't cut off you. I truly believe that the best person to master is yourself. The best person to control is yourself. Some of us want to control situations. You need to start controlling you. And when you start controlling you, that's when you're going to find that you have more control over your life than you realized. It's hard though. Don't get me wrong. I've been out here trying to do this thing and I get it wrong a lot. So you have to give yourself grace. But just pick yourself up every time, because you're going to fall, sis. You're going to fall again. You're going to mess up again. But if you know that, now you can set yourself up for success, saying, I'm going to fall again. A storm's going to come again. But if I'm not inside a woe is me, you know how people have a happier life? It's not because they have less storms. It's because they choose to consistently pick themselves up. It's because they choose to consistently get over the storm quicker. It's because they choose to use their words wisely and not make the damn thing worse. Because when you're in a storm, if you're going around talking to all kinds of people about your drama, all you're doing is feeding that thing. And then you feel like you have to live up to that thing. You have to be inside of it and you have to not like it. Or you go talk about your man to somebody and now they're judging your man when you make it better. Now y'all look like clowns, right? Like, let's just keep it real. You go talk to people, now they have an opinion about your situation. And then you want them to accept him after you just told them everything about him and not about yourself. But if you go to your girlfriend and you talk about yourself and how you want to grow and how you want to get better because you didn't handle that situation better, all of a sudden we start to shift things and we start to get over our storms quicker. So the last thing I want to leave with y'all with before we turn it over to my incredible sister is really just thinking about, how are your storms impacting you? No weapon formed against me will prosper unless I let it. A weapon formed against you may look like it prospered, but God's not looking at your little situation right now. He's looking at your destiny. He's looking at who you're going to become. And so when you look at it from the grand scheme of things, when 10 years, you can then see how that thing did not prosper, but how it was used for your good and how it's going to help you become better. And so I love y'all. I'm excited for you to hear from this powerful woman. Ladies, I went over on time, so I just want to plug this. Take your time. Share what's on your heart. The women here need to hear what you have to say. And so I give y'all just that power and that permission, if you will. I'm so excited for this incredible woman to share. She is somebody that's helped me grow a lot. She helps me see myself. She's not afraid to tell me and check me when I'm not on my game, but I'm not afraid to check her when she's not on hers either. So you need people around you that are going to keep it real. You need people around you that aren't going to be yes men and happy and clappy. You need people that are going to be like, yo, sis, you're off. You said you wanted to get better at this, but you're not on it, because we all have another level. And I appreciate you so much, sis, for all that you give me, for the love you give me, the grace you give me too, because you know I need it. And I'm just excited to continue to grow with you. So let's give it up for Candy.
Yay! Thank you so much. So Amanda talked about growth. She talked about changing the little things like the eye rolling and all that different sort of stuff. And it's so amazing that she's working on that, because those are things that I get to work on, because she is, that's the upside to being a part of a sisterhood like this, is when one sister is growing, the other sister is going to grow. And it's not just mentally, it's physically. So she got her results and she taught me how to get mine. I grew a booty too, y'all, the healthy way. I learned how to eat. And she not only just helped my booty grow, she helped my pockets grow. So joining this sisterhood, I'm telling you, is overall growth. To be able to spread this to other women is amazing. I never would have thought that I would have done something like this. I never was out there looking for a sisterhood like this. But here I am, and I'm so blessed to be able to grow and to be able to share myself with you guys. My name is Candy. I've been with this beautiful sisterhood for almost 4 years now in November. So it's been really, really amazing. Lots of different storms throughout the 4 years, but I'm so thankful to have my sisters there with me to support me. So you may not need this, but you don't always know what you need. So I hope you guys join us.
Hi, ladies. My name is Raquel in Phoenix, Arizona. I've been a part of this sisterhood for a little bit over 3 years, or almost 3 years. I don't know. I lost count. But when I came in, I was in a really dark space. I have two beautiful children who I gave my life to. And but that's what my life revolved around. It was just being a mother. I let myself go. Who I was didn't matter. My kids came first, and they still do. But I was really in a very low point in my life. I lost my house, I lost my car, I lost my job, I lost myself. Who I was back then wasn't who I wanted to be and who I wanted to represent for my children. I wanted to be a better example for them. And so that's where my self-love journey started. And then my friend Amanda came to meet my son Tally, who was 6 months at the time. And she's always been inviting me to these women empowerment events and workout classes and all that. And I just was never in the mental space to be open enough to go to those events. So it was always every excuse in the book. I don't have time. I'm a mother, so I'm too busy. I have jobs. I can't, don't have money. None of it. Everything was just an excuse on how to get out of it, right? And it wasn't until I was really, really in a dark space. I was in an unhealthy marriage. And I say unhealthy because he wasn't healthy for me, but I wasn't healthy for him either. I was very toxic. I was very lack self-love, self-esteem. I was very insecure. He committed adultery and I stayed in the marriage through that because I felt like that was the best I was ever going to get. I felt like this is where I'm at and I'm stuck here and I'm not going anywhere. And I joined the Rain Sisterhood. I did the work. I peeled the layers. I found my peace in my storm. I learned to accept my lows and I love to love myself through my lows. And it was then when I really got to really transform who I was, to change who I was. I worked on myself. I called my own self out. My friends called me out. My friends pushed me. I pushed myself. It's so much more that you get from a group of women than just claps in instruction. You know, there is a drive, there's passions. We sit down, we talk about our dreams and our goals and hold for each other accountable for those things, you know? And within that, obviously, I was seeking physical results. I wanted to change myself, but I wanted to take care of me, my temple, my body. So I was able to lose 52 pounds. And then life happened. So another storm, right? And I went through depression, but I knew that even through the lows, I get to love on me, right? So I knew that I wasn't going to give up. I knew that I gained some weight back. But I knew that I wasn't giving up on myself. I knew that there was work to be done and that I was in control of that. So ever since I've hopped on my nutrition plan, I've been working out. I've been able to lose 30 pounds. And I feel amazing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not about the number in the scale, it's how I feel. Being on my nutrition plan, eating my healthy food, doing the workouts, all of that fires me up because I feel great, you know, and I get to keep up with my kids. I go to the park and I'm not tired anymore. And within all of this, in the past 3 years, I've been able to build a business through women empowerment and fitness and self-love. And I'm just so passionate about it because I found my lane. I know what I'm meant to do. I know what God put me in this world for. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of a group of women like this. So thank you for listening to my story.
You did so good, Raquel. And I didn't cry. Hi, you guys. Hi, ladies. My name's Kel Vana. I've been a part of RAIN for 3 years. However long RAIN's been around, that's how long I've been around. And on my nutrition plan, I'm currently down 30 pounds. Thank you. Thank you. So when I didn't really know like what to share about as far as storms, because there's so many different aspects that you can come from. But one that I was thinking of is relationships. So I've been in RAIN for as long as RAIN's been around, but I've also been single for as long as RAIN's been around, you know? So I've done a lot of worksheets, a lot of work on myself, improve my communication skills, you know, so I feel like I know all these things, but you really don't know until you're put in a situation where you have to practice them. So when people are like, so how are you in relationships? I'm like, shit, I don't know. We'll both figure it out together because I haven't been in one since I'm new and improved, you know. But I did have an opportunity towards the end of 2019 to practice those relationship skills. And I met a guy, he was cool. Something I learned in RAIN is that someone doesn't need to be a bad person to just not be a good fit for you. So I feel like sometimes when we end situationships, we want to like hate that person, but it's like maybe they're a good person, just not a good fit for you. But what I learned, like getting to know him, is that he was actually broken. Like he needed a male version of RAIN. Like I wish there was one, you know, if that's a calling on anybody's life. But he needed that, and I knew that I had to let that go. Where in the past, I would have tried to like hold on and fix him, take on his stuff. This guy, Jim Rohn, he says, don't sign up for that class. I was like, I'm not about to sign. You're real cool, you're real cute, but I'm not signing up for that class, you know? So where I would have like held on before, it was so much peace and just letting go. Kind of like playing tug of war. That rope, if you've ever played tug of war, it really like burns your hand, but you just let it go. And sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. And so whereas before it would have been like the end of the world that this situationship or whatever you want to call it, this courting didn't work out. It was like just a rainstorm, you know? So able to bounce back from that. So, you know, yeah, that's my story. Thanks for listening.
Man, Calvana's dropping bars over here. I'm like, let me take my notes. Hi guys, my name is Jenny. I have been around for 3 years as well. And this topic got me so present to my story because when I came into RAIN, I was in a storm. I was lost. I was broken. I was depressed. I actually came into another event, which was a women's empowerment event, and it was a men's panel. And I wanted to figure out what is wrong with me. Why didn't the relationship work out? Why didn't he stay? I sat through the men's panel and I was like, they have issues too. Oh my gosh, it's not just me. And that was like a huge eye-opening thing for me. And that's actually where I met Amanda. And it's amazing because I didn't know her. I was invited by a friend who knew someone who knew someone who knew her. So it's incredible like how God will show up for you even when you don't know that you need it. And honestly, I was looking for physical results, but I had tried so many other things in the past and I couldn't make them work. So I was like, well, I'll just give this a shot. And I'm so happy I did because I've lost 24 pounds from a size 16 to a size 9. And I share the pant size, lady, because the scale is a freaking liar. Like my transformation looks way more than 24 pounds. I think that's disrespectful to me. But anyways, so the big thing for me was just plugging into this sisterhood. Through all of the storms I've been through in the last 3 years, they have all been there for me. They've held my hand. They've helped me to elevate. They've called me out of my ish and been like, hey, you can do better. Or, hey, you're doing a great job here. Like, what if we do this? It's just been incredible to really have sisters. I have sisters, but this is different. And I'm just so excited because we have some really awesome things coming up to plug you guys in. We don't know exactly when this pandemic is going to end, but we have some great things coming up. So the first thing I really want to talk about is our next self-love challenge. We literally are just finishing our last one. And ladies, these transformation pictures we are getting are fire. 21 days. Just 21 days. That's it. 3 weeks. It's crazy how fast this time goes by too. So with this, you guys are going to get your group chat. So it's all in an app called Telegram on your phone. So you have that group chat, you have the one-on-one accountability and support. We do weekly topics like this, but we can go way longer because we have the space for it. We have daily motivation and support, instructional videos. We do nutrition tips, meal prep, recipes, everything. We have optional customized nutrition plans for your goals and your budget. That's the biggest thing, is that it's specifically for you. It's not like a one size fits all. And the winner gets cash prizes, like incredible. And it's only $10 to join, $10 freaking dollars. We could probably charge hundreds of dollars, but we want every woman to have access to this, which is why we make it only $10. But the value you're going to get out of this is so far beyond that. So we are doing this. We're starting registration now up until May 18th. So get with the person who invited you. If you're looking for, results, looking to be, taken to the next level to elevate your mind, body, and your soul. And then what's next for you? So after this call, get with the queen leader who invited you and let her know, how do you want to join? And we have several different ways that you can join. Every Wednesday night, you can plug into this Queen Connect call. The topics are always going to be different, but we want you guys to stay plugged in. The next thing is to sign up for our small groups. And what's amazing is we have so many women who are like, what are small groups? What is that? Like, give me more information. So small groups are going to be group chats that we hold for connection after these Zoom calls. We're going to do them every other week. And what it is we're going to dive deeper into the topic with a queen leader, and we're also going to have worksheets. And I was thinking back today, like, how have I had the most growth mentally? And it's because of these worksheets. When we do these 6-week workshops in person, we do the topic, and then there's a self-reflective worksheet. And I can tell you that that's where my growth has come. That is where I've really dived deeper into say, oh, this happened to me as a child, and this is how it's showing up for me as an adult. And that's where my growth has happened. So these small groups are going to be so impactful, and we're so excited to get them started with you guys. And it's really where I've gotten a lot of value out of just RAINN in general, is really being reflective and working with women on a smaller scale and being able to connect. Sometimes in meetings like this, we get lost, but in that small group, you really get to connect and build relationships. The next thing that we guys have is the one-on-one queen elevation. This is something I'm so grateful I did. So after I met Amanda for the first time, we had our one-on-one queen elevation call. We talked about my goals mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and I just laid it all out and said, this is where I am. This is the baggage I'm bringing in, but this is where I want to go. And I cannot tell you the value I've gotten from that. I didn't realize when I had that conversation, not only did I get a nutrition plan, but I got the accountability and support that no one has ever given me before. And all it took was me saying, hey, I want to talk to you about my goals. So I highly, highly, highly recommend reaching out to the queen leader who invited you to do your one-on-one elevation right after this. And then the next one is we want to lock arms with you with our vision and our mission and really grow a business. So all of us in here have been growing this sisterhood. I've been growing this sisterhood for almost 3 years now, and it's incredible. And it's amazing because it happens so naturally. I started to look different, feel different, show up different, and people are like, what are you doing? And it was just teaching them what I did. And it was so easy because I said, hey, come check out the sisterhood. So we all lock arms together and we really build each other up. And it's so funny because if any of you follow me on social media, you know I've been obsessed with protein donuts, okay? I really wanted donuts in this quarantine. I was like, you can't have donuts. So I created the protein donuts, and it's so amazing because this is helping me with my side hustle. Like right now, protein donuts are how I'm building my business. And it's crazy because last weekend from just selling the protein donuts, I made $268 for one day of selling donuts. That made people healthy. I wasn't getting them fat. And that is really what like filled me up. And they're freaking bomb. But it was like, what else can I create? Like this is a small thing. Like I know that Calvana is going to be doing a virtual paint and sip. Like you get to take your passion and make that your side hustle. My passion right now is donuts, and I'm going with it because I'm having so much fun with it. But I just really want you guys to all reach out to your queen leaders. Tell her how you want to be involved. Do you want to do the Queen Connect? Do you want to do the one-on-one evaluation call, the self-love challenge? Or are you really looking to join the sisterhood and start building a business with us? Like, ladies, it's incredible, and we're so excited to have you here. You are here on purpose, and this topic is everything. Like, you get to walk through your storm with us and lock arms and turn your pain into your power and make it your passion. So I want you guys to all unmute, say goodbye. We hope you ladies have an amazing night.